We got invited down to the Spotify Now Playing event. We saw Jack Mate and Stevie. This guy walks past he basically stands in front of Adam. Adam thought it was Stevie from Jack Mate's Happy Hour. So he whacks this guy on arse. He's like, wow, come on, Stevie, move on.
I said, shift, Stevie.
So then this guy walks past. He's like, sorry, walks around, sits in front of us. And I looked and I tapped this guy at the shoulder. I said, sorry, mate. I said, he thinks you're someone else. But then Ben Foster rocks up, the dude from the Wrexham documentary. He comes over.
The professional footballer.
He was like the nicest guy ever.
He was a really nice dude.
Is he coming on the podcast then?
He said he would come. He said he'd come on the podcast, so we need to get that squared away. George, you've got the package. A package has arrived.
I'm Adam.
I'm Josh.
Baby, it's cold outside. And really dark as well, because Gaffer's cracking the whip this morning. Had us in here at 7:30, basically. Not that I'm complaining. I was up anyway at 5. How are you doing?
I'm all right, mate. Today's date, it is now just past 8 a.m. on the 6th of December, and this podcast is going on Patreon this afternoon, so no swearing. We can't. There's no cutting today.
There is no edit.
We never normally record this late in the week, but been busy, haven't we?
Highly, yes.
So yeah, how's Tricks, mate? You all right? I'm actually sick of sight here, but anyway, tell us.
Where's your Christmas spirit? I'm doing all right, man. I mean, there's nothing really for me to share with you since we've seen each other basically every day for the last 2 weeks. That's what it feels like, anyway. But yeah, I'm all right. How are you? How's life? You've actually got one. I wanted to point it out before we started rolling, but you've got one single long beard hair that you seem to have missed. I really want to get it.
Get it.
No.
Are you sure I bet it's not attached. It can't be attached.
It's gonna hurt you if I pull it. It is attached, man.
Is it? Keep that souvenir. Are you sure?
Actually, it transpires there were 2, I think, because I did just get one. We'll sort it afterwards, but you got one long. This is
this is some top listening this week. Tune in next week for some more action. George, let's do the YouTube comments.
It's time for a YouTube comment.
We need to do it. We need to super crop in on that, like add a little bit of sharpening effects and slow-mo it back and pull it out.
All right, first comment from Lifting Weights, Cleaning Plates. I told my wife I was coming to the live show after missing out last year, even though I knew it would overlap for when she is away, which has been booked for months. I already knew I had to take the time off work to be available for the children that week. Anyway, I approached the conversation as delicately as possible with my wife, offering suggestions for childcare over those 2 days I'd be away. But as expected, she proper lost it, starting laying into me about how selfish I am and that there was no way that I was going. Anyway, guys, can't wait for the show. Do you have any recommendations for marriage counsellors?
That's a quality comment.
We'll probably have some auxiliary support there that could maybe look after the kids, depending on how young they are. If they're young enough that they won't know what we're saying, then it might be all right to kind of break. Now. Is it like 21 and over?
I mean, surely you could just go on like Facebook and be like, is there any babysitters kicking about?
That's probably the kind of thing you would do, I imagine. No,
not my kids.
No
I suggest it for somebody else's kids. But
like the commitment at least. I suppose after that we've got to try and deliver something exceptional.
Yeah,
especially since I've seen on Reddit so many people complaining.
And it's chaos that you've asked Adam for relationship advice, given his track record.
Yeah, I'm the last person you want to ask, man. Quite literally.
Well, next comment from Villules. Here's a guy who spent almost 10 years with a wonderful, classy woman, only to decide one day, you know what, I need more drama in my life.
Are you taking a piss, George?
So he breaks up with her and starts dating a Las Vegas waitress whose full-time job involves serving tequila shots while dressed as a sexy hot nurse. Now, instead of quiet evenings with someone who loved him, he's out every night dodging drunk tourists who keep asking his new girlfriend for a checkup. He traded Netflix and chill for stethoscopes and dollar bills. Congrats, Beard. You didn't just fumble the bag, you threw it off the strip and into the Bellagio fountain.
I like the imagery. There's some like real imagery. A nice bit of wordplay there. Some like the what was it? Something rhymed with dollar bills.
Stethoscopes and dollar bills.
Netflix and chill rhymes with.
That's good. Yeah,
not quite Dr. Seuss, but it is good. Of course, has made quite a lot of erroneous assumptions there. I'm not, as you can see, I'm not in Vegas. Not dodging drunk people. The two, I think we covered that the two were completely unrelated events. But
How dare you, a year apart?
I don't know. It was,
What was that noise?
It was
I could hear some
right.
crackling, so I'm just
George tinkering with one of the inputs.
better now.
Yeah, that's quite a good comment. Though. At least it's an entertaining one. It's not flat-footed. There's a little bit of thought went in, even if it's completely wrong. Like a lot of thought went into it. So
appreciate it.
Who was that?
Villules.
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 Did he fight for Octagon?
That's even I don't get that joke, and I went to one of the fucking events. What's the next? Is there another one? Ideally, not about me.
Next one from James Griffith. The Beard Cinematic Universe is growing. The BCU.
It is kind of like its own little ecosystem now. Like you and
Yeah.
there's not been, George hasn't been in a video yet.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
been in,
unless
like,
you count
all the Christmas videos.
Yeah, the Christmas video.
If you go back to Chicken Wings, you'll see his little chicken wings like strumming a guitar or playing drums in the background.
there were no body doubles this time, apart from that guy that could have been a body double
Yeah.
that looked exactly like
I had
me.
a very brief cameo in the Tom Aspinall one.
Oh yeah, were you in that
The
one?
B-roll.
He put himself in
Little
B-roll.
bit.
Any more?
Okay, and last one. We've got two comments here that go quite nicely together. So these are both within an hour, well, the same hour. Christian Fiorito says, Josh is a real friend. Followed up by Loser X says, Beard fire Josh, not helping you.
I mean, I would if I could. Actually, I think no, I wouldn't. Would I do such a thing? Cool comments, those. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the polarity, isn't it? Of
Within minutes of each other, those two come in.
yeah. I'm not going to fire him.
That's the life, innit? That's the game that we unfortunately chose to be
What
on
do you mean
the
fire him as well? 'Cause you're not employed by me. He's not like a member of staff. If
Freelance.
anything, it's the other way around.
That's true, actually.
Adam, be here for 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think though, like what we might have hit upon here is that we're gonna have to podcast now from 8 o'clock every day. 'Cause I'm high in energy.
Yeah, I could do this. I mean, George didn't reply.
That's good.
George didn't reply when I said we're in for 8 on 2 occasions.
I like
put it in
the
the group
message.
chat. Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't see that, and then I sent it to him like individually, and I didn't get a reply. So I didn't actually expect you to be here this morning,
you?
George.
I am.
They sent it to me individually.
Yeah.
I am astounded that he's here.
Kids nowadays.
People of that age can't. I mean, they're not. They're tardy, aren't they? By meaning late. By
George's had his moments of being a bit tardy, to be fair.
you can't say that.
You
That's
can't.
something you'd have to bleep out now,
Why?
because I think he's using that as a shortened version of a certain word beginning with R.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another example.
Keep up.
Now I get it.
Another example of it. Keep
Yeah.
that in, George. Anyway, went down to London this week or last week?
It was last week. The end of
Last
last week.
week, yeah.
It was the end of last week. It's only.
Was it? Man,
I say it's fucking Friday. It was last week, but it was last Friday.
that's mental, that. I felt like it was like on...
like yesterday.
Yeah.
I was saying to someone yesterday, I was like, oh, well, we filmed that beard video at the start of this week. He went, man, that was last week. I'm like, fuck, it was,
It's
yeah.
because we've gone so far between recording podcasts. Anyway, we got invited down to the Spotify Now Playing event. Oh, George, go next door whilst we're talking. Go cut it wide. Go next door and go get them hoodies. I left them in the
Yeah,
office.
yeah, you gotta get
So yeah,
those.
we went down to the Spotify Now Playing event where the UK's top podcasters. What are you laughing at? The UK's top podcasters got invited down for an event where they were going to tell us how good Spotify is. I actually thought we might get a Spotify deal.
I did not think that. And
No?
if we were to have, I mean, we might have been in line for a Spotify deal, mate, before the part where.
All right. Right. For the audio viewers, I'm just going to... I'll describe what we've got here. So at the event, they had an option where it basically had a print on demand where you could put your own logo onto a hoodie.
Why the fuck is my beard so red?
I mean,
Somebody got the white balance
The
wrong
white
on that
balance is way off on the print, but it's pretty cool. Like,
No, it's not. It's the opposite of cool.
George, do you like that?
Yeah. It looks a bit cheap, doesn't it? Kinda.
Well, it was. I mean, they were printing out. They must have printed out 900 hoodies. In fact, it was quite funny. We came across what was the name of those two Irish guys?
I mean, it's printed better than the beard in your pocket ones. First game.
Mike and Vittoria won it.
Yeah, they I think was it Vittorio, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Didn't you print one off of the Jake Humphrey podcast?
Yeah, randomly.
But I think he just said he wanted the shittest one, so he landed upon Jake Humphreys.
But yes, we get down there, George, and there's like this canapes and drinks, but they're only serving cocktails. This is at like, what time does it start? 4 o'clock. So fucking the little elf over here is marching round, just like screaming at all of the.
Whoa! I was not screaming at
They
anyone.
were trying to befriend all of the like bar staff and the people that are walking around, you know, with the cocktails on trays. They're like, mate, I need a beer. We don't go cocktails to beer. We go beer, then cocktails.
Yeah.
But nobody would give him a beer. So he's marching, like shouting, marching around.
I
Everyone's
wasn't shouting. What the fuck? are you
all
talking
you hear is
about?
whispers,
This is
like-
completely wrong.
Sorry,
happened
you explain.
was, I got there and I said, well, this is crazy. Like, why would they want to give the more expensive cocktails away and not beers, which were in a fridge I could see? So I spoke to a couple of members of staff at the bar and said, we can't give you beer. And I was just asking quite reasonably for an explanation. If the beer were ever to be set free, if there was a point in the evening where we would be able to get beer, I would just simply wait. Luckily, one of the bar man on the furthest right end of the bar recognized me. I said, look, man, is there any chance we're going to be able to get a beer at any point? He said, I'll get you a beer. So they were just really kind of being obstinate for some reason. And in the end, I got a beer. And
It set us up quite well because then they just kept giving us beers.
Yeah.
So the dude came around with beers, but then more people started getting beers. So you then started setting a trend of people drinking beers rather than cocktails. So we go to the event, and then they're doing like a keynote. So the dude from Spotify wants to like tell you what's going on. So we sit down in this like, how would you describe it?
An auditorium.
An auditorium. So we sit down at the back. And we bumped it. We saw Jack Mate and Stevie, which we didn't speak to at this point. So we sit down on the back row, like naughty kids on the back of the bus.
Well, no, it was the back row of the front section, so
Yeah.
there were still seats behind us.
In front of us, like I'm gutted I didn't get to speak to the guy. In front of us, there was Matt Willis from Busted, which I'm absolutely. And the next one was that Reggie Yates.
He says to me, he's like, Matt Willis from Busted there, and I'm like,
Literally, it was like in touching distance. I'm like, I need to speak to him at some point.
Which one's Matt Willis?
Not the lead singer, the other one with dark hair.
All right, okay.
And then there's the other one that
There were just
nobody
two
knows.
of us. Oh, right.
The other three of them.
All right, okay.
And the other guy, I don't know if anybody knows what his name is. He's like the bass player or something.
All right.
But this guy walks past. So this guy walks past. He basically stands in front of Adam. Adam thought it was Stevie from Jack Mate's Happy Hour. So he whacks this guy on arse. He's like, wow, come on, Stevie, fucking move on.
I said, fucking shift, Stevie.
So then this guy walks past. He's like, sorry, walks around, sits in front of us. And I looked and I went, I tapped this guy at the shoulder. I said, sorry, mate. I said, he thinks you're someone else. So
I had this moment, like it dawned upon me. I was like, those eyebrows are too nice to be that Stevie guy. I think I was after, like, was that after or before Jack Mate came over? I said,
That was before?
I said, close your mouth, mate. You're burning my fucking corneas out the back of my head.
yeah, so Jack
Getting
Mate
done
did
for
come over.
sexual harassment at Spotify event.
Could well have
That's a
been.
good, that's a good title for a video.
It was more like his hip. It wasn't really. I didn't catch him flushing a fucking rump. Like it was more like his hip. Like, come on, shift, Stevie. I thought, because we kind of know him, like that'd be all right. But it was not the same person.
Ultimately, then they did a keynote. Jack Mate spoke to us. All I did, whenever anybody came to speak to us, I'm like, what's the name of your podcast and how many listeners do you get? That was my opening line. Because I thought we need to make the most of it now. Because I'm
Right.
like, nobody knows what good looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
all these numbers, like, hidden under secrecy. My pressure. Apart from on YouTube, you can see the numbers. But nobody...
We need to bring that back. Was that Yorkshire Gollum?
So Jack Mate's got like a Spotify deal. So I'm like, listen, man, how many listeners are you getting on an episode? So we'll take it with a pinch of salt. Should we release that? He reckons you're doing like 300,000.
I don't know. I wasn't fucking listening. You're the one who I don't give a shit.
I'm sure he said like 300,000 listens per episode, which is like a lot of people.
We're quite
On
far.
Spotify.
I imagine we're quite far behind that.
Yeah, on Spotify, we're doing like 6,000, an episode.
That's what is that?
5%, 10%?
No,
20%.
it's 20%. That's not bad, is it?
But then we do like last week's episode on YouTube did like 95.
No, it's not. It's 20%, is it? 10% would be 30,000.
All right.
So it's 2%.
So anyway, I kept asking people, like, how many views do you get? How many views do you get? And then this one guy who was like, Dave and Pete talking shit. Also, everybody that recognised us was like, oh, we've seen you in like the charts. And I'm like, what fucking charts? They were all comedians. So we are in the niche of just stand-up comedians, and then there's us idiots. But I kept asking him. Like,
No wonder we're not doing so well.
Yeah, there were Dave and Pete talking shit. And he's like, I've seen you in the rankings. And I'm like, of course you have. And he's like, nah. And he goes, have you not seen yourself in the rankings? I'm going, what fucking rankings? So anyway, he showed us how to find it. And we were 108 this last week?
Yeah, I wish we'd not seen it.
108 in comedy.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Which probably we are the 108th funniest, I would imagine, when we're surrounded by professional comedians.
Yeah. So then this guy does a keynote, tells us a bunch of stuff about next year. Basically, if you're a Spotify premium listener, there'll be no ads, which makes sense because it's fucking premium. You pay for the premium. And then they did this like Q&A with a famous podcaster, which she was also the singer. She was a singer and podcaster. But this is where it all went bad. Adam, would you like to take over this story?
Well, you're going to make it sound worse than it actually was.
That's why I'm going to let you try and talk.
Well, what was it? I don't know who was the person.
I don't know, mate. I think she said like it was something to do with like
she was a singer who does a podcast with her mum.
Yeah, about like it was based on a food thing.
Ultimately, I don't know what the fuck it was, right? And it's okay. Like I get it. They they don't really have to have an interview with somebody, right? And given that we'd been at Spotify events before, where they've had like Louis Theroux talking and whatnot, I think it was fine to like interview the person, right?
Yeah.
The problem was the length of the interview. In fact, if you remember, before this occurred,
Jessie Ware and her podcast is called Table Manners, where she does an interview with a mum.
Cool. I'm sure it's a great podcast. I'm not knocking this, but I'm unaware of who this was, and I think a lot of people in the crowd were not familiar with what it was, and they interviewed her like as if. As if it was an audience of her fans, essentially. That was a problem.
I'll just interject quickly. She was talking on stage with this Jessie Ware, and she was the really posh for in London, and she's like, "Oh yes, I do this table manners with my mum, and you know what it's like when they're doing press runs, and we want real interviews. We don't want makeup coming in and doing touch-ups in between, and dinner parties." And I turned to Adam and went, "We're in the wrong spot here, mate. This is not us."
He did say that.
Right, go on.
And then he went, how long did it go on for? I actually, before this happened, I tried to get out to get a beer.
We were locked in.
And then they wouldn't let me get out to get a beer.
You just go there for the alcohol, like, to give a fuck about anything else.
That basically was it.
Pissed.
Then I did eventually get out, and I got to the bar. They said the bar's closed while the interview's on. And I said, "Can I get back in?" The guy said, "Not really." I said, "Well, I don't really want to get back in, but like, otherwise I'm just going to be stood here." So he lets me back in. So anyway, they're still going. And then I'm sat there. He took a picture, which is on Instagram, where I didn't realize he was taking a picture, but I was just like this, "Oh my God, this needs to end." And then I don't really know why. Shit like this happens all the time to me, but like the interviewer says to this Jessie woman, "Who's the best guest you had on?" And she deadpan replies, "Ed Miliband." So I just went, "Oh my God,"
out loud.
And
so Matt Willis from Busted turns around.
God.
So he turns around. Those two, but luckily the two Irish lads that we spoke to later on turned around and cracked up like laughing. And then fortunately a few people laughed. So the moment they stopped, it created a positive energy in the room. But it wasn't like mine. It just kind of came out. I thought, motherfucker, like, can you imagine that the best guest you've had on? Like Ed Miliband. Ed Miliband.
So anyway, they did this talk, and then they're like, "Right, we're going to finish the talk now. Everybody can go get a drink." And then this Jessie Ware, we're coming back to do a performance because she's a singer. Sounds like she did everything. She's a podcaster, singer, an artist. She did everything. So we went outside, got some drinks, and they were like, "Right, you need to go back in for music now." We were like, "Nah, mate, bar's back open." So we were like the naughty kids at that point. So we just carried on drinking, didn't we?
That's the best part.
Yeah, the Irish dudes joined us, the comedians.
And it's supposed to be for like mingling and
we did
networking
mingle.
anyway.
Well, you mingled. We mingled with the like-minded people.
Yeah.
I always feel like a lot of these type of events, when they put like talks on and stuff like that, it kind of like, I always wish you just let us just fucking be in a room with these people and just figure out who we need to talk to and talk to everyone.
Yeah, I think it sort of happened
rather than do
naturally.
that.
Like, I think after he had his outburst, and then the Irish dudes found it funny. They came over and started speaking to us. They've got a podcast called Mike and Vittoria's Guide to Parenting.
But it's not about parenting.
It's not about parenting.
We discovered.
So it sounds like they've got a pretty good podcast that's doing really well. And they're both stand-up comedians. They're the new Paul Smith and that.
In fact, we tried to go watch one of them on the night because he said he was going to get us on the guest list.
Yeah.
And then we weren't on the guest list when we got there, so we travelled all the way to Soho and just ended up eating some fucking dirty chicken wings instead, which nearly killed us because I woke up in the morning, I was so dehydrated, my piss was like treacle.
Lad, he ate, I don't know, 40 chicken wings, right? At 12, it was fucking 11 o'clock at night. It was rammed, this chicken shop. And he wakes up the day after, it's like 7 o'clock and his face was swollen. It looked like one of the clumps. It was mental, mate.
I was just out here. So, like, you know, when Paddy the Paddy does, it's like he gains weight after fires.
So we were mingling about. But then Ben Foster rocks up, you know, the dude from the Wrexham documentary. He comes over.
The professional footballer.
And podcaster.
And he basically stood and spoke to us for what, 2 hours? And then went, shite, this is a shit events these out the boys.
Oh,
anyway,
no, you're dobbing him in now. Fucking up his podcast
I don't
now.
think he was bothered.
No. But he was buzzing to meet you, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was funny when he came over. I was like, it's funny that we've actually met before, just from about 12 yards away through a Starbucks drive-through window. I wasn't working at Starbucks. I was just at the other side of the counter, and I saw him. We both saw each other, down
Our
there.
eyes locked across the room.
Yeah, pretty much it was like that. Yeah.
So you were talking to him about football, and the Irish boys were talking about quizzing him about football players, weren't they?
Yeah, we shouldn't go any further though, because he did say anything that I say from here, do not reveal anywhere else.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'll
right.
stop you there. But we were talking ball, man. Yeah.
So you were like, Fabian Barthez, and you play with
Yeah,
him.
because like everyone were talking in like a 405, and then it sort of broke off where you were talking to the Irish boys a little bit,
What's 405?
like people, like 4 or 5 of us, weren't there?
I thought you said 405.
405.
Like it's some kind of gang slang or something. Yeah, 405. Sorry. Yeah.
And then you were talking to the Irish boys, so then I ended up talking to Ben Foster for about an hour. But obviously, I know nothing about football. But I was like,
What did you talk to him about?
I've seen you in the Wrexham documentary. I'm like, I don't follow footy, but I saw you in that documentary. I'm like, what's Ryan Reynolds really like? He's like, oh, he's fucking ace, And then we were talking about his channel. He's like, oh, I love it when you boys do the videos, which were nice.
He's the one person.
Supporter of-
I suppose
Yeah.
you couldn't not say that when you were
Pyramids.
there.
Well, I suppose, yeah. But it was like the nicest guy
Yeah,
ever.
he was a really nice dude.
Is he coming on the podcast then?
He said he would come. He
Line
said
him up?
he said he'd come on the podcast, so we need to get that squared away.
Yeah, hopefully he will. Yeah.
We were very excited.
You might have to lead that one then. Like asking him about his career and anything like that. If we talk about that,
You're the fucking producer. You lead the thing.
I don't ask the questions to
sit
guests,
here.
though, do I?
All right, well, you just feed me and then.
We don't have to like interview him. We can ask him about like his
Yeah, but-
YouTube and podcasting.
Obviously, we're going to talk about football
Yeah.
when he's on though.
And the
which
Wrexham documentary.
You're not going to know what to talk about.
I'll be like, yeah,
We'll give him like. You ever seen line?
We've had this
Not,
one.
you ever seen the thick of it? I don't know why the fuck I'm asking that question.
No.
But there's a part where like basically Malcolm Tucker, who's the comms guy, he gives one of the MPs like a weekly like a video of like pop culture video, like so he's in tune with the people. So I
Yeah.
could just do that with football. with
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
So bring you like some kind of highlights.
Get me up to
thing
speed.
and be like, yeah, this is what's going on in the world of football. We could do that.
We know you're not going to do that.
No,
I
and
could
that
just
was
watch
like a really
I could
long-
watch Match of the Day, can I really?
Yeah,
That's long.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. No, it definitely
I
is.
can
long.
watch Match of the Day. 'Cause it's basically just all the goals, so it's worth.
You were in bed before match of the day starts. Like,
I was asleep.
What are you trying to front?
I was asleep at 8:30 last night, man. Off written off. But anyway, Spotify event was sick. It was good for. We had a good time, didn't we? All in all.
We had a good time, largely not on account of the Spotify event, though. Just on
No.
account of like, I mean, like I suppose we wouldn't have met Ben Foster and those Irish lads and whatnot.
Yeah.
And the guys from Arsenal Fan TV.
Which ones?
I don't know the names, man. The two.
Is it the main guy?
Two main
Is it
dudes,
Robbie?
Robbie and the other guy.
The guy with beanie and the glasses.
he comes
his
up to me.
name
He's like.
Is it Ty or something?
I can't remember,
called?
something like that. But he's like, oh yeah, man, I sent you an email, and I think he was like asking if I'd go on the. I don't know if they have a podcast or a show. They must do if they were there.
do, yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, because I immediately knew in my head that I think I'd replied to him saying, I don't want to come on because you cost Wenger his job. And the guy was cool about it. He's like, yeah, no, we understand, man.
It was quite funny that like we spoke to John, one of the guys that works at Spotify, and he basically said that everyone were buzzing that Adam were there. He got the biggest like whispers, fucking I'll be able to mix foods here.
Worst podcast, best channel, probably.
Pretty much.
I don't want to sound egotistical. The bar was really low. Nobody else there was actually a YouTube person.
But we made it with Rowan, who he offended last time. Made amends from last time, which was nice. He sent a video to his somebody or his friend. He did like a cameo style thing. No,
I don't remember that. Like I probably had too much to drink.
you did like 2 or 3 cameos. There was one
The
for
fuck?
one for him, and then you did one for. There was a lady with him. Do you not remember?
I think I'm getting like early onset.
Yeah. Anyway, he did another
dementia or
cameo,
something.
and then we were leaving, and there was some more. I don't know who these podcasters were, but then they were with another representative of Spotify, who Adam then massively offended. Remember the lady walking out of? She was like, "Come for a drink with us," and you were like,
Oh, the one that was interviewing the woman. on
"Yeah, the
stage.
lady that was on stage."
I don't think I offended it. Did I offend
We
her?
said you did a fantastic job, but then she didn't know Adam War really. And they both had a bit of a misunderstanding of life. So
I really don't. What do you mean?
you were both pretty rude with each other to the point where it were like, we're not coming. I think you might have outright said we're not coming for a drink with you.
I did say we're not coming for a drink with you.
Yeah.
It's just honest. I wasn't like saying like fuck you, I'm not coming for a drink with you. I was just like, I don't know these people. We're not coming for a drink with you.
Yeah, but
nice
you-
to meet you. Goodbye.
But you did have a. I can't really go into detail, but you did have a bit of a. You know what it can be like. So it kind of went a little bit. So our name's definitely Mud at Spotify. Long story short,
I want it to be Mud though. That's the thing. It's like the
outsider.
Let's kick some ideas around. I'm just like, shut the fuck up, man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to sign with your fucking bullshit, whatever. Just let me do my thing.
Not that we were offered any signing.
No.
It would just.
Of course not.
But we're definitely never ever going to be offered any signing.
Good. That's what I say. Done. Is it we just talking about Spotify thing, or is there another part?
Well,
of the agenda?
Spotify Wrapped has just come out on it, and we've been part of quite a few people's.
Oh yeah, we got
It's worth
a.
maybe shouting some of them out, maybe.
Well, shall I give us some statistics?
Yeah, go on then.
So the top line figures. Hold on, it's
You
loaded.
got Muse on your shirt there, Adam.
Muse.
Yeah, it says Muse on your shirt.
Does not say Muse. My shirt it says the Punk Rock Museum.
It says museum.
Oh, museum. I thought it said Muse.
Categorically no. I've seen Muse live though. I'm a very talented fella. Not a big fan of their music, but there is worse stuff out there.
Just on the Spotify Wrapped thing, I did put in the chat.
Stop you there. You know that song's about a vibrator apparently. A woman's masturbation
I
device.
thought it was about his guitar.
Or man's, if you're into that kind of thing. No, apparently it's about a vibrator. Go on.
I did put in the chat that somebody had listened to Adam's music channel 360 days of this year or something, or 300.
Oh yeah,
on
the songs.
Spotify.
Yeah, go on the production chat. I put 2 screenshots in.
There are a lot of people who listen. I mean, people send me that stuff all the time. I'm like, that's just one person. But then I also get the Spotify for Artists update, and it's like 6,000 people, independent, different people listen to this month, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with people?
Someone
Thank you,
listened.
still.
You were someone, Chris Railston's top artist of the year,
Mental.
with 1,050 minutes listened.
Oh, Chris, I don't know if you watched the podcast, listen to the podcast, but thank you very much.
How many plays were that?
It doesn't say
wasn't-
on that thing.
Was it
Divide that by
There was another one, Chris
Yeah.
Railston, my top song, Grab the Mince Pies, 354 total streams.
What a G.
Almost every day he's listening
Thanks,
to Grab the
mate.
Mince Pies.
And as well as that, you got to remember as well that whenever you listen to that song, the money, albeit a small amount, it will eventually go to charity.
Ah.
Because in perpetuity, every song, if you listen to any of my songs, all the money at some point will go to charity.
How much do you reckon 354 streams will get you?
I don't know, like some fucking pocket lint.
Point 0.3 pence.
0.3 pence.
Not even a penny, probably.
So top line figures for us this year. We've had 67% new listeners this year to the podcast.
Nice.
Across 76 countries.
Weird. Unexpected, I mean.
And we are in the top 1% of video podcasts on Spotify.
Is that because we're at an advantage because we were the first people given the video podcast?
I don't think so. I think it's like you could have been on it. You could have come on at the same time and nobody listened, couldn't you? Really? I
suppose.
And the demographic of age is between the highest demographic is between 35 and 44 years old, which is exactly our demographic.
Men,
Which
presumably.
it didn't say actually. It didn't do a gender one.
I can't imagine so many women listen to us talk nonsense.
That's a grey area these days.
No, I think we're.
Yeah, but
we've come back round.
statistically, they still analyse that, don't they?
My listeners also loved the Joe Rogan Experience, Jack Mate's Happy Hour, and Parenting Hell with Rob Beckett and Josh Widdicombe.
Rob Beckett, is that your lookalike?
Cheeky cunt, you're gonna get fucking.
That's what he said is your lookalike. I don't think so.
No, he's more like the George Ezra for me. Although we did used to say Rob Beckett sometimes, yeah. Josh has just got smaller teeth.
And that's that. Top episode this year was the James Smith podcast.
Get the fuck out.
Yep.
That was the top one.
Yep.
What month was that we did that in?
December last year. So it's exactly a year ago.
This wasn't the
And we've had a whole year and nothing's topped it.
So there you go. There's the top line figures.
All right, well, we should say thank you to the audience then for a year putting up with this absolute dross.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Sorry to interrupt this episode. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about our Patreon. As you know, we don't take on any old sponsorships around here. In fact, we've only done 2 in the last 2 years. That's why we need Patreon. That's where you guys come in. Each week, we do a Patreon-only episode. Fancy going to watch Kung Fu Panda 4? Yeah, come on.
No, I'd just call you for that, dickhead.
I'm not shagging you. Anyway, George, as well as behind-the-scenes content from all our trips abroad, all the antics, and all the stuff that we've frankly can't post on YouTube. There's a great community being built, and the money generated helps keep this sinking ship afloat. If not, George is going to have to go back to selling his ass for money. You get early access to every episode, and there's a Patreon-only episode with every podcast. Not only that, there's almost a year's worth of behind-the-scenes content for you to catch up on, and you can see all the antics that goes on whilst we're abroad. And you can ask us questions on our Patreon-only Q&As. All this for less than the price of a pint. Thanks as always for the support. Now back to the episode.
Adam, you've had some funny emails come through this week, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
From the
update us on Fat Thumb Life.
Oh, yeah.
This is a clip, this, George. Get ready, son.
Yeah. We'll just sit on it for like 4 days or so before you put up a clip. Not the podcast, just the clip. So a lot of people very kindly apprised me of the fact that this was when I was in Vegas predominantly, of the fact there was a channel out there posting, essentially taking my videos and reposting them. No reaction or anything like that, just reposting them, right? I don't know how it got around the content. They used to do a resized. I couldn't tell that they'd been resized.
They kind of looked compressed. They almost looked like, around 16:9, like 235.
I didn't look at all of them. Anyways, usually YouTube's content ID detection is really, really good. But this guy posted, 15 videos, which were just rips of my videos. So in the end, I had to fill out individual copyright claims for each one of them. And when you do a copyright claim, you can either give the person 7 days to avoid a copyright strike, or you can just claim it standard way, and if they are in breach of intellectual property law, they get a copyright strike, which is fair, right? I don't go around nicking like other people's videos and just post them for myself, or within fair use guidelines or anything like that. So I submitted one. I think it was on the podcast when I checked it last time. It might have been last week's podcast that was removed. Great. And so I submitted 2 or 3 more. And so now, evidently, the bloke has, or woman, could be, I don't know, the channel's called Fat Thumb Life. So he would have got 3 copyright strikes, which means unless those strikes are removed, your channel's deleted. And then has sent me 3 or 4 emails now asking me to relinquish the copyright claims.
Can we read them out?
Yeah, if you like. I've deleted them all without response, naturally.
So you read them out, George. I'm going to try and find his channel.
So the first one, that is the second one. First one is, hello again, Mr. Adam. He must have emailed you before, but you didn't send it in.
Probably not put it in the chat, yeah, I don't know.
Yes, it is me again, asking you if you don't mind to remove strikes from my channel so I will survive YouTube death penalty. I truly hope you will go that step forward and save us from it. Hopefully you will find it in your heart to do that for us. Thank you.
Bit dramatic, that isn't it? Death penalty.
and that email was titled 5 more days until end for me.
Well, you know what to do, mate. Stop stealing people's hard created content. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, create something thumb related. That's the name of the channel, I guess. But yeah, I'm not going to be removing the strikes. So
he had a follow-up email to say, messaging again and ask you please to remove copyright strikes from my account at Fat Thumb Life. We will be greatly appreciate your kindness and help we need at this time. Thank you in advance. P.S. Not much time we have left.
Yeah.
Is the channel going to get deleted then, do you think?
It will do if you've 3 copyright strikes.
All right, okay, yeah. Because like it's oh look, they've got, this is where the character come from. Yeah, the person has got a fat thumb. It's quite funny. But why would you go from like making videos of your thumb to then just putting your videos on it?
So you can make money.
Is it monetized?
Yeah. If it wasn't monetized, I wouldn't give a fuck. I don't give a shit.
Oh my goodness.
You can post the videos if they're not monetized. I mean, it doesn't make any difference really. But you can't make money from other people's content.
That's mental, that.
Yeah. And then ask for clemency. I'm afraid not, mate. No, you just have to start another channel and maybe, I don't know, steal Eric the Electric's videos instead.
How long does he have then until when you get the 3rd strike?
I'm a law-abiding citizen, so I've never stolen anyone's content before.
Was it yesterday that he said the 5 days to go until he goes in the gulag?
Either yesterday or the day before.
Not long left then.
Oof.
It's mad how many people came to your aid though, because I were getting like emails, carrier pigeons. Josh, tell Adam with this fella. I said I clocked it when you were in Vegas. I sent it to you as well, didn't I?
Yeah, it's nice of people to let me know though, because otherwise I would not have known. But yeah, thank you if you spotted that, and hopefully the dude's about to get just rewards, or woman. It could equally be a woman, or something in between.
I was almost late to the podcast this morning. Here's one. We'll start the story like this, actually. Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah.
Heard of it?
Yeah, it's kind of a relatively recent phenomenon, that, isn't it? I
Yeah.
get the purpose of it. It's supposed to like adjust an elf.
Yeah.
And your child still believes in the Christmas myth. Thinks it's a real elf which has been moving in the middle of the night. And he's now frozen because it's daytime or whatever. They're doing funny different things like stealing, like beans out of coffee beans out of the coffee tin or whatever.
Yeah, so you do like fun stuff every day. It turns out it's quite a burden on most parents. Luckily, my wife's an absolute nerd. So prior to December, she'd got a calendar and written down every activity that the elf was going to do on every single day of December, which now people are asking me to send. I think I could sell that. It's like
I would sell that.
Yeah, like
monetize that, man.
Jen messaged me. She's like, "Can you send me the list?" I'm like, "I don't think I can."
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, like, come on.
You could sell that
For a
couldn't you?
fee.
Yeah.
But you know, that's like people that use AI for shit. Fucking use your brain, man. Why do you have to steal somebody else's idea?
Imagine you go to all that trouble though, planning out every single day, and your kids just don't give a fuck.
See, Tilly does give a fuck.
Oh, that's
so
nice.
the day one when Buddy arrived, he came with a letter, and the letter basically said, "I'm Buddy the elf. Santa sent me here to live with you until Christmas Day. I've only got 2 rules. Rule number 1, no touching. You can't touch him because if you touch Buddy, he comes alive at night. But if you touch him during the day, he loses his magic and he won't be able to do any activities. So you can't touch Buddy. Buddy's got to stay in situ, which is difficult for a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
Rule number 2, be good. You've got to be good because if you're not good, I'll have to go back to the North Pole and tell Santa Claus that you've been naughty and you might end up on the naughty list."
In some way, that's a bit of a kind of creepy, coercive way of controlling somebody.
If you had kids,
In an odd way.
if you had kids, you'd be using it. So Buddy survived the first few days. He's done some fun stuff. He made a snowman out of toilet paper. There's a picture of Emily and Tilly where he'd got a marker pen and drawn like glasses on them, on the frame.
The
which is
little
quite,
scamp.
which is quite funny. But yesterday, Tilly was a little bastard all day.
Yeah.
So much so that Danielle sent Buddy back to the North Pole last night.
Yeah.
And this morning, he'd written a letter. Let me read the letter to you.
So you're exempt now from doing it for the rest of December.
No, it's just one day.
You went all the way back to the North Pole to come back.
Well, one day, yeah, he's had to go for one day.
What the fuck? Like,
So, but then
I hope he's not flying British Airways or whatever.
But then he's posted a letter back, and this is how the letter reads this morning. "Hi Tilly, I've got bad news. I was watching you yesterday and noticed you weren't being your usual kind self. I've had to pop back to the North Pole to have a chat with Santa and try to convince him to keep you on the nice list. Remember that you have to talk nicely to people and do as you are asked. Don't be rude, especially when people are trying to help you. I'll be watching you through the Santa cameras and hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. Be good. Listen ears on, Buddy." So Tilly was not happy this morning, but that's consequences, man. A little shit yesterday.
What did she do yesterday?
Well, I was out all day working, but apparently she was very rude to Danielle all day. She was a little bastard when I
Very
got home
rude.
as well. She'd been a little shit.
I think this is in any way coincided with her newfound obsession with me. I'm just thinking like there could be a correlation there.
Maybe, yeah. Because yesterday she was making she's made you a ornament for your Christmas tree.
Ah,
So maybe that was the catalyst at the start of the day.
Cry or something. You're trying.
She's got a reason to put a Christmas tree up every year now.
Yeah, so that's coming. Is your
Oh, cool.
Is your present. But this morning, we got up, fed Emily. Tilly comes into our room. She's got the letter. Read the letter. She was on her best behaviour, but she sat talking. Emily's on my knee like this. So this is why I thought we were going to be late. She sat talking to her, and kids don't. Babies, there's no warning if they're going to be sick. There's no. It's just like, it just comes. So Tilly's talking to her, and Emily projectile vomited straight into Tilly's face.
Oh, God.
He went all of at bed.
That's consequences.
And I'm like howling, laughing, but Tilly's like mortified, she's absolutely traumatized because, again, she's 3 years old and she didn't get it. So she's like in absolute disgust that she's covered in sick. So I'm pissing myself. Danielle like sticks her in the shower and I'm looking at Emily. She's still covered in sick. I'm looking for baby wipes. But then Emily sneezes and sneezes sick right into my face and into my mouth. So I had to shower. So yeah, that's my parenting fail of today, man. As soon as it happened, I was like, At least there's a story for the podcast.
George didn't play the jingle though.
I know.
It's been a while since we heard that
Father
one.
in fails.
Yeah, but that was my morning, to be fair. So I'm sure you had, less eventful.
I can never have kids.
You sure?
I might have kids out there somewhere, but hopefully not. Well, if I do, they're not in my will. Signed that yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's age for him. I've got an official will now.
He's put me in his will, but I don't know what the reaction is I'm supposed to have to the will, because he's got to die for me to action anything that's in it. So as a sentiment, it's nice.
Well, your mate, the mortgage guy with the wonky eye. At the end, he gave me the will. He said, "There, you can go die in peace now." I was like, cheers.
Oh, God.
Thanks, man.
Did he introduce you to his mate?
He did, yeah. I'll tell you about that later.
All right, okay. I introduce Adam to people, but then I have to give him like a good brief onto how to
PowerPoint presentation
how to
on
handle it,
what not to do.
But after that, if they then choose to ignore everything I've said them, on their head be it. So I can only assume that's how that went.
It was fine. It was all right. I mean, you'd have to ask the guy they introduced me to really for an objective. But I think it was all right. Yeah.
What's the crack with the big fact hunt then? Where we at?
Well, we put up a poll on Instagram yesterday.
A what?
A poll.
Oh, nice. I thought you said Paul for a second.
Poll.
Paul, yeah.
Yeah. So, drum roll. It was between Ninja Warrior and Ice Bath.
I
So,
hope it's Ice Bath, man.
what do we think it is, do you think?
Don't have the endurance to keep doing the drum roll.
Ninja Warrior's too easy, man. It's like round the corner from his
It
house.
better not be Ice Bath because I might actually die.
Ice Bath.
Okay.
I hope it's Ice Bath. Have we not got a drum roll on there?
No. It was Ninja Warrior
Fuck. Thank you.
with 463 votes to 321 for the Ice Bath.
Quite happy by that. Nothing else I'm going to be cold, am I?
So,
Now you've got to figure out how to film it. Good luck.
Mobile phone.
yeah, like we did last time.
Yeah, you're not Tory Mike, man. We can't the whole thing on mobile phone. Get your fucking
That's
hand in
what we
your
did
wallet.
with Danny.
Yeah. Get your hand in your wallet. I'll put a GoPro on so you get first person point of view, and you can pay for like Blue or something for the day. I'm sick of fucking paying. You can pay.
Oh, everybody's like, get that violin, get your violin out, mate. Oh. All right, there we go then. So we're gonna have to go. We'll at least go around to your nan's for a coffee afterwards. It's like well close to where your family live, innit?
Yeah, man. She'll feed you.
When are we filming that then? Are we going to try and do that before Christmas or is that
Are
ambitious?
you fucking mental, George? Are you like clinically ill? What day is there between now and actually Christmas Day when either of us
I don't
can
know,
do anything?
I'm asking you.
It's all right when you fucking turn up and you sit
mental,
here
you.
fucking twiddling your dick all day. We're out there grafting like fucking.
That's a New Year
Two
problem.
of
That.
your videos to get to do before Christmas. Fucking pray for me.
All right, well, prioritise the one we're filming today, right? Because turn around on that's pretty quick.
We can't talk about that. We are filming today for something that's going out next week, which could definitely go wrong.
It almost certainly will go wrong, but the endeavour will be there. We'll just put it on Patreon if it goes really shit.
We've also, George, you've got the package. A package has arrived.
Yeah, it's
I feel
still
like
next
Casey
door.
Neistat. It's like you remember when Casey used to get sent packages. This is the first time it's ever happened to the studio. It's your
I'll
package,
go
to be fair,
get
but I don't know. Have you ordered anything?
George, go manhandle my package. I haven't ordered anything. Why the fuck would I order something to come here? And if it's addressed to me to come here, have you checked it for wires and like kind of sticky residues
Imagine
in case
that.
it's going to blow up in my face? Be a way to go though, wouldn't it? Provided like that it doesn't compromise the SD cards. You have like man,
We're all right. We're
man
like,
blows up on podcasts.
Yeah, we're going into an SSD over there. We're safe as hell.
sound meat, sound.
At least sun's come out. Oh, here we go. Right, there's a knife in my bag. You need to be able to open it.
Oh, thanks, man.
Right, for those listening.
Wait, it's addressed to Adam Beard.
So a package has been sent. It's
Very
quite
nice.
large for
Very
those that
nice.
are listening.
Handwriting. Don't you think the handwriting is good?
It's very clean.
It's also like it's
Well packaged as well, isn't it?
It's got King Charles.
Right, this is really
inside
sharp, so
profile.
don't like cut yourself.
Don't tempt me.
Let's not annoy. Fuck's sake!
Can't joke about that,
You got
Adam.
some editing to do. Are you on the wide? Or are you on the tight? Do I need to move?
Tight angle. I'll go
It
to wide.
really is sharp. It's like a fucking samurai sword.
Yeah, mate, it's
You
well-
can sharpen it on like a whetstone.
Oh my god! Can I just open? You're like terrifying with this.
Just don't shit yourself, man. Fuck.
Don't fling it across the table. Oh,
Some paper. No, it's not that.
It's Mike sending you some mead, innit? He's finally felt guilty about it.
It's bubble wrapped as well, so we can play with that
That's just
later.
the box. Let me see if there's no letters in it, alright? Because we won't know who it's from, will we?
Okay, yeah, sorry.
This is going to be class on Spotify, this, isn't it?
Yeah. We are still opening.
Bear with us.
We are still opening the package for those that are.
Yeah, but this is one of those ASMR things, isn't it? Right? If he
Bubble
stops
wrap.
fucking about with the crumpled up
Alright, yeah,
paper.
there's not in that.
Wait, this is going to be a bit hectic, but once I open it,
This looks posh, this, you know.
see this. Yeah, people love that, don't they? If anything, they've used too much wrap in there.
Yeah, but it's obviously of value that needs to be not damaged.
Fuck me. It was easier getting into Danielle's pants than this.
Poor Danielle's got no idea. You just keep cracking jokes
I
about
don't know, because she looks at me in this kind of odd way now, where it's almost like she does know. What's going on here?
Okay.
Oh, there's a letter in it. There's a letter in it.
I'll get the letter.
What the fuck is that? That's great. We need to put that somewhere in here.
That's gotta be
that
put-
can go on Josh's side.
Oh my god.
That's, yeah.
Should we put it up on
Pass us the
Josh's
box.
side?
Let's see what it says. That's mental. I'm sure there were a card in it.
Do you want me to-
Yeah, you need to open that and read it. I can stay there for the rest of the podcast. Right, so for those that are listening, there is a hand. It almost looks like a watercolour painting of Adam chomping on the giant sausage from Germany by some artist. I guess we need to find out who it's from. That's the best thing that's ever arrived at the studio.
Oh, I remember this because this person contacted me on Instagram. She sent me a picture of this and then said she was going to send it to me. And I was like, well, I don't really have a P.O. box or anything. But I provided it with this address because in case it was something like an explosive device, then you would die instead of me. But then it was lost. The artwork was lost. And she told me, I said, yeah, don't worry about it. It's the thought that counts. And seemingly she has tracked it down. So let me read this out at the expense of the delivery service Every. Dear Beard, since Every had lost my artwork, I wanted to paint you again and choosing Royal Mail to deliver this time. Apologies with 2 Ps.
You're such a cunt.
Apologies for the delay. I hope this reaches you and I really hope you like it. Love, Francesca at Only Franz Artwork. So the name is actually funny because it's like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So I followed her as well, like on Instagram. So go follow at Only Franz Artwork. It's all one word. Franz, Frans. That's the least I could do if she's gone to the trouble of not only sending me this once but twice, and actually painting it presumably twice because Every actually lost it. So thank you very much, Francesca. Don't know if you listen to the podcast. Probably not if you have, I don't know, an IQ above 2 digits. No, that's really mean to all the listeners. I'm joking. What I'm saying is, thank you, Francesca.
Oh, what is the time lapse of her doing it? That's sick, that.
That's what. Can we overlay that? You reckon? Or no? Is that too much?
Yeah, we could.
Oh, no,
Maybe not. Go find it. Go look for it because George needs to get this podcast out today.
Screen cap and put it on the podcast story or something.
Yeah, we'll share it on Sunday when this goes out.
Yeah, but thank you very much, Francesca, and go look at that's. It's because of the subject that probably doesn't look that great, as in me. But like she does loads of really good stuff, which looks more palatable than pizza meat and sausage. But yeah, thanks, Francesca. Really appreciate that. And that is going to go pride of place somewhere. It's signed as well on the bottom. It's like a collector's item.
Can that not go in place of your makeshift YouTube sign?
Maybe.
I think
This,
that'd be great.
that's the thumbnail, that mate. But at the end of it, he needs to hold that up. That's the thumbnail for this week. Oh, that's
Lay it down. Is it like interfering with the frame now? Is that all right?
Nah, it's fine.
I'll leave it there. That's
Okay,
quality.
cool.
That. Right, should we do the beer challenge rewind and then?
That's
Yeah.
made my flipping day. That man.
That's amazing.
That's
that.
awesome.
I'm going to put that up in my house somewhere.
There you go.
Well, there you
That's
go.
where it's going.
Oh, you can wait. No, I'll leave it here. You can have it. Go on, what do you have for me today, George?
Okay.
Actually, I feel like I need to be more enthusiastic about this part, but I don't often enjoy talking about myself eating.
All right. So the first one we have the punch.
Wait a second.
Go
I was
on.
going to try and guess what it was, but it's too late now. Is the Punch Bowl poutine?
The punch bowl poutine that only one person has ever finished.
Yeah. Leopold's Tavern in Calgary.
Calgary, Alberta.
Yeah. That's a really cool one, actually. If I remember, I don't think you get that one free. I think you just get a T-shirt. It'll be in the description if you do or
Have a
don't.
look.
It costs like $50, I think.
Yeah, spot on the Wall of Fame and a very cool T-shirt.
Yeah, and the T-shirt for that one is really cool. That's one that I would actually wear. It's actually in my wardrobe. All the rest are just in boxes and bags. It's like a giant like punch bowl kind of monster destroying a city. You know, not unlike say Godzilla or something like that. But yeah, it's a place called Leopold's Tavern where they do. It's like genuine poutine. Because a lot of the times when I've eaten poutine in Canada, it's been like just bits of like shredded cheese. Poutine is cheese curds, chips or fries with gravy on, right? And you can get this giant punch bowl of it, like a huge bowl of it. I think it's like 5-6 pounds or something. And they cover it in gravy. You can get toppings as well, or you can just do the classic gravy, fries, and cheese curds. But if you finish it, I don't think there's time. I think it's just they give you like one sitting with no toilet breaks or whatever. If you can finish it, they've got like a little wall of fame for people that have done I think they call it something like the Punchzilla or something like that. And you get this really cool T-shirt. It tastes good. It doesn't look that appetizing, I would say, on the surface, but it does taste delicious. It tastes a bit like to me, you know, when you're mopping up your Sunday dinner, you've got like your roast potatoes and you've got a bit of gravy. It tastes just like that, but for a good like 5-6 pounds of it.
Does it get a bit much, you know, like with it being soggy chips?
No, I loved it.
All right.
If it tastes good, if food tastes good, and generally, like if you're not getting it for free, typically the food tastes better, just because they're not really concerned about you paying anyway. You're going to get the standard quality. But no, I really enjoyed that one, and it looks really cool. The way I shot it was not great. It was a bit. The colours are a little off like usual. But you know, I'm not allowed to use the crew or anything, so yeah, it was a cool one. Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I would think. I mean, the fun thing about that is if you just want to experience it and not try to finish it yourself, you can just order it. It's meant to share
for the
4
table.
people,
Yeah.
So you could go.
4 pounds of fries, 1 pound of cheese curds, and an entire litre of gravy.
So that's close to £7.
What beard rating does that get out of?
Most people aren't going to be able to finish that. It's not that hard for somebody that does what I do. For the average person, 7 probably. I mean, most people that do what I do would be able to do it. Yeah. But only one person done it before, which was kind of mad.
Yeah.
But I think it's because of where it is as well. Like Calgary, like Alberta's right in the center of Canada. You know, it's like basically you have to travel like 8 hours either side to get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I think it's just probably not often traveled, you know, by people that film stuff like this.
Makes sense. Got time for another one, George?
Yeah, next one. €100 mixed grill challenge with Finland's second strongest man.
What a cunty title that is. You got to bleep that. Sorry.
Yeah, but then because I shot that with Jesse Pinnan, who's a really good friend of mine. I shot a series in Finland last year now, and that feels like it wasn't that long ago, but it was probably like nearly 18 months ago or something. And yeah, the title there was just really just to poke fun at him because he's got a good sense of humor, unlike most people on the internet. So it made him laugh that I called him Finland's second strongest man. It's a statement of fact, but it's because what happened was when we got to this restaurant, the actual strongest man at the time, he's not anymore, I don't think, a guy called Mika Toro was there.
At the same time as you guys?
Yeah, but he knows Jesse, that's why he came. He wasn't just there by chance.
Randomly.
And he was just a super nice guy, but yeah, it was funny because I was just, I just kept asking him how much he lifted, then asking Jesse the same question, just to test it. And the guy's
How
a
much you
giant
bench,
as well.
bro?
Yeah. But the funny thing about Jesse is like his girlfriend. I met his girlfriend, right? It's nothing to do with the challenge, but I met his girlfriend, and they were both just laughing at how weak I am. Because his girlfriend squats like 180, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no.
Land of the Giants.
I don't even know if I could deadlift 180.
Probably
now.
not. No,
Probably now. I couldn't. I haven't conventionally deadlifted in ages. I think that's my PR actually. 180 conventional deadlift. So like she's squatting it. I think she was squatting for like 6 reps or something daft. Anyways, yeah. By the by, the challenge is cool. And it's like it's on a place where in I forget the Finnish term for it, but in England it means wolf border. So it means like after this, there's nothing, just forests. So it's like right on. I forget where it was. Like maybe it was Jonsu or something like that.
What, where the restaurant was?
Yeah.
Ravintola Karunmaki.
Karkumaki, yeah. But the place is, I think it's called Joensuu. I think that's the name of the town.
Right.
So it's basically, there's nothing else after it, right? And you just have to eat like 100 ounces of meat, I think. Oh, I don't know if it's 100 ounces actually. Probably says in the description. it's they just bring you a couple of plates. It's a bit of a weird one. It doesn't look that great, because they just bring you a couple of plates of meat with, I think, 2 sides, if I recall. And I just shot it with. It's not normally I wouldn't film a video where 2 people are doing
2 separate
one
challenges.
solo food challenge.
Yeah.
Normally, if I'm going to film something, it has to be a team thing, because it just makes more sense. But because I was with Jesse and he'd like show me around, and I shot a bunch by myself, and I just said, do you want to film one together, because it's the least I can do, really.
Yeah.
And so we shot it together, and at that point we're both equally pretty naff at eating, so we finished at about the same time, which was handy.
Cool. We got time for one more?
How long are we going for?
53 minutes.
If you want. Don't have to. No, let's wrap it up, because we need to get into Leeds. We've got this big
What's
challenge.
9?
Yeah, but we need to do a Patreon as well.
Oh, yeah.
Let's jump over to Patreon.
All right, let's finish on a fest bit then, shall we? Yeah?
Yeah.
These really make your ears hurt. Can we get some new ones of these for Christmas?
Yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah, man.
But to be fair, this is the first time we've both acknowledged it in 3 years.
I know, one maybe just noticing now. I don't know, maybe my ears are leaner than usual. Doubt it, man. I've gained loads of weight this last year.
Old age.
All right, first fest bit.
Testosterone.
Whenever I cut my toenails, I sweep the clippings between a gap in the floorboards in our bathroom. Recently had a plumber round who was clearly too polite to comment on the pile of 8 years' worth of toenails next to the pipe he was working on.
Wow. That's a believable story, that's absolutely honky.
Yeah, I mean, don't you? When I clip my toenails, I just kind of clip them on a piece of tissue or like paper towel,
Yeah.
and then put that in the bin.
That makes
So it's
sense.
something to think about, not that this guy's gonna be listening, but you know what I mean. It's just a weird thing to do.
That's pretty tame for you, actually. I thought you were going to say then he jizzed down the fucking
I feel
hole
like
as
they're
well.
getting tamer.
Yeah, because none of them are ever believe it's just smut,
I
isn't
think
it?
some of the worst stuff is on Reddit. I think we need to start sourcing them from Reddit.
I'd rather you
Nah,
didn't.
we've done the Reddit.
Reddit's enough.
Hey, Reddit's the new, that's his new happy place. He likes to go on there.
I do, like, if I'm feeling a bit miserable, I just go on there and laugh at all the stuff people are saying.
All right, next one. 25 years ago, the bank I worked at connected us to internet email. Then the head of IT announced that it would be a major disciplinary offence to receive any inappropriate emails. I used a search engine to sign him up to sites with free chubby chaser porn by email. Rule dropped.
Don't say anything.
Last one.
Last one. Dated an actress who's now well known in the UK, but when we dated, she was an unknown actress. Recently saw her in a sex scene on TV where she made some of the same noises as when we were having sex, and now I'm paranoid that she was acting then and I'm just bad in bed.
Can you imagine how awkward it must be to shoot a sex scene?
I said that to somebody recently. I was thinking, like, man, like, I think, because there are 2 levels of awkward, right? So first of all, it's going to be awkward because if you have to be partially clothed and stuff like that, even if you're wearing those weird kind of like skin stocking thingies that you have to wear, it's going to be weird because you don't know this person, right? Imagine, on top of that, if you find that person attractive.
Imagine getting a
You're going to
erection.
get, it's basic biochemistry, right? So imagine, right, you're filming a sex scene with your mistress, Sydney Sweeney, right? There's no way that you're going to be on top of her pretending to have sex with her and not get aroused. You cannot control that. That's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just going to happen.
Well, I think that's why they have like coordinators for scenes like that and stuff.
What, to be like, oh, he's got an erection, stop everybody.
No, but like-
You're like that.
If you're a professional actor, I think you have a conversation before and you sort of apologise I think you've got to apologise if you get aroused and if you don't get aroused.
Exactly. It's a two-headed,
Because
double-edged
if you don't,
sword.
it could be offensive.
I'd be going in there like, look, I'm probably going to get an erection, right? Lucky for you, my track record says it won't last long. So like, it's all right.
It's a compliment. Just take it for what it is.
Yeah, man.
Mate, it's awkward just acting, isn't it? Like,
Yeah, but
imagine when we do your music videos, all those people around you, like just crew and everything. And then,
Maybe what we'll do we'll write next year. We'll do one next year. This is what we've got to do now. We'll write a sex scene into that. But like, it's you and me.
I'm laughing at the fact that if I have
Disclaimer.
to cuddling kiss, we had to cuddling kiss. Who's topping and who's bottoming?
What if someone
Let's
get-
not think about it. I
someone gets a
regret saying
boner
that. I regret-
Yeah, what if you get an
Someone gets
erection?
an erection,
Yeah.
It'd been like in Germany when we filmed that promo for that bed company.
That was
I was
funny.
close, man. It'd been a while since I had any kind of human affection.
I've laid on his chest and he kissed me. But then you spit afterwards.
I know.
I laughed.
It's horrible when people spit on you, isn't it?
Depending on certain circumstances, yeah.
Right, let's jump over to Patreon. You don't want these, right, George? I think we give these. If you're on Patreon, right, pick a date. Hold on.
Fuck wants that.
How many do we have? Just two.
There's two. So there's two available. Let me look.
You need to tell the sizes as well because
Yeah, there's a medium and a large.
as if anyone's gonna actually wear it.
So next on Friday the 13th, put it in the calendar. Anybody that's on the Patreon, well, I'll download the CSV. So if you're already a patron, you're automatically in. I'll download a CSV and we'll use like a Google number generator and we'll give away two of these. So there's two available. You sort of get what you're given. There's a medium and a large. And you'll forever have the two only Spotify Breaking Beard hoodies. So yeah, see you on Patreon.